Junie B., first grader. Turkeys we have loved and eaten, and other thankful stuff. Written by Barbara Park. Chapter 3. Thankful Bags. Tuesday. Dear First Grade Journal, today is still the month of Thanksgiving. But hooray, hooray! We are going to have a show and tell for the whole entire day today. That is because yesterday Mr. Scary gave us thankful bags to take home with us, and today we had to bring them back with something we are thankful for. We are keeping them a secret till show and tell. I brought something that I love very much. Here is a helpful hint. It is not my brother Ollie. Your friend, Junie B., first grader. I put down my pencil, and I looked around the room. All of the children had their thankful bags next to their chairs. Some of the bags looked empty-ish, and some of them looked fullish. My thankful bag looked middle-ish. I picked it up and put it on my desk. Then I leaned over, and I tapped on May's arm. My thankful bag is middle-ish, I said real pleasant. May did not pay attention to me. I tapped on her arm again. You are probably wondering what is in my bag, but I cannot tell you on account of it has to stay a surprise until show and tell, I said. May turned her back on me. This time I tapped on her head. Helpful hint, it is not my brother Ollie, I said. Just then May exploded out of her seat, and she tattletailed real loud. Mr. Scary, Mr. Scary, Junie Jones will not stop bothering me, she hollered. Mr. Scary frowned his eyebrows at me. I waved my fingers very friendly. Hello, how are you today? I am fine, I said. I was just showing May my thankful bag. I held it up in the air. It is middle-ish, I said. Mr. Scary kept on frowning. I put my bag on my desk, and I folded my hands very polite. Okay, I guess that about wraps it up, I said. Mr. Scary got a teensy smile on his face. Sometimes he enjoys me, I believe. Pretty soon, he stood up at his desk, and he clapped his loud hands together. Okay, boys and girls, it's time to get started with our very special day of show and tell, he said. Please put your journals away and arrange your chairs in a circle. We slammed our journals shut. Slam, slam, bam, slam, bam, slam, slam, bam. Mr. Scary sucked in his cheeks at us. We quick opened our journals again, and we shut them very quiet. After that, we put our chairs in a circle, and we got ready for a whole entire day of show and tell. Woohoo, I said to Herbert. This is a dream come true. A whole entire day with no learning. Herb laughed and clapped. I wish every day had no learning, he said. Me too, I said. If every day had no learning, school would be a lot more popular. May butted into our conversation. Well, I am thankful for learning, she said. There is nothing I like better than learning, learning, learning. After that, she started skipping around her chair. Angela glared at her. Here is a suggestion, I said. Why don't you skip on home? May stuck out her tongue at me. There was no need for that, I believe. Just then, Mr. Scary clapped his hands again. Okay, everyone, make sure you have your thankful bags at your chairs, and please take a seat. All of us got our bags and sat down. Good job, he said. It looks like we're ready to begin. I can't wait to see what kind of wonderful things you're thankful for. He pointed to Roger. Roger, would you like to start us off? He asked. Roger's face looked sickish. Why? He said. Why me? I didn't even raise my hand. Mr. Scary smiled. I know you didn't, Roger, he said. I just thought you might like to start us off, that's all. Roger did a gulp. Oh, he said. Well, I wouldn't. Mr. Scary stopped smiling. Okay, it wasn't really a question, Roger, he explained. I would like you to go first. Roger's face got sweaty on it. He just kept sitting there. Mr. Scary crossed his arms at him. Roger, he said, we're waiting. Finally, Roger did a big, deep breath. Then he stood up real slow, and he picked up his thankful bag. It looked empty-ish. Mostly, I'm just thankful for this thankful bag, he said. He held it out in front of him, and he gave it a little shake. I don't know why I like this bag so much, but I'm just really, really thankful for it, he said. He did a pause. The end, he said. Then he quick sat back down. Mr. Scary frowned. Really, Roger? Seriously? He said. In your whole life, you're only thankful for the plastic bag I gave you yesterday? That's it? Roger stood up again. No. I mean, I'm thankful for other stuff too, he said. Mr. Scary raised his eyebrows. Like? Roger's face got stress in it. Like, he quick looked all around himself. Then, all of a sudden, he stretched out the bottom of his t-shirt. Like this t-shirt I am wearing, he said. I am very, very thankful for this t-shirt. Roger's face got sweatier. This t-shirt is, he looked at it harder. White, he said finally. Mr. Scary nodded real slow. Yes, he said. We can see that, Roger. Roger kept stretching his shirt. Then he turned up the bottom, and he read us the tag. Machine wash, worm, lay flat to dry, he read. After that, he stretched out the back of the neck, and he read us that tag too. Boys size 6 to 8, he read. Made in... Mr. Scary quick held up his hand. That's enough, Roger, he said very sternish. Roger kept on standing there. Honduras, he said. Mr. Scary snapped his loud fingers. Roger sat down. Show and tell was not off to a good start. Chapter 4. Diving. Mr. Scary stared at Roger a real long time. He said they would talk about this later. Talk about this later is the school word for getting yelled at when there's more time. Roger slumped way down in his seat. After that, Mr. Scary looked back at the class. Okay, everyone, we're going to continue now, he said. But this time, please raise your hand if you actually brought something to show. Lucille sprang out of her chair. I did, she hollered. I brought the best thing you ever saw. Then she reached down, and she pulled a big, giant purse out of her thankful bag. Wait till you see this, children, she said. I brought something that everyone in the whole world is thankful for, and I have lots and lots of it. After that, she turned the big, giant purse upside down. And wowie, wow, wow, out came money, shouted Lucille. Money, money, money. I am thankful for money. Room 1 did a gasp at that sight. Then all of our mouths fell open at once, and our eyes got bigger and bigger. And then, bam, we dived for it. Money, we hollered. Money, money, money. I started to grab. And it's the paper kind, I yelled. Lucille laughed real happy. Then she turned her thankful bag inside out, and more money fell out on top of us. Wee, woohoo, yippee, we hollered. Mr. Scary was hollering too, I think. But it is hard to hear your teacher when you are money diving. Finally, he raised his voice to a louder level. It was the level that means business. Go back to your seats, he hollered. Now! Everyone stopped grabbing, and they hurried back to their seats speedy fast. Except for not actually me. Instead, I kept sitting on the floor, 'cause I had a teensy problem. Mr. Scaredy glared his eyes at me. Junie B. Jones, did you hear me? I said go back to your seat. I nodded real nervous. Yes, I said, only I have a teensy problem. I pointed at his shoe. You're actually standing on a 5er. And so if you could just lift up this one shoe right here, I can get my money and be on my way. I tapped on the foot he should lift. Then I waited and waited for it to move. But it did not actually budge. Instead, yikes! I felt myself getting lifted off the floor, and I got carried right back to my seat. Mr. Scary sat me in my chair. I smiled real twitchy, and I smoothed my skirt. Okie dokie, I said. I believe I will just sit here now and behave myself. Mr. Scary kept on standing there. I waved my fingers at him. Alrighty then, have a good day, I said. He took some deep breaths. Deep breaths are what teachers do to keep from screaming. Room 1 stayed quiet as a mouse. I could hear Mr. Scary's nose whistle, but now was not the time to tell him he needed a tissue, probably. Finally, he finished breathing. Then he picked up Lucille's big, giant purse, and he went around the circle, and he made all of us put her money back. Sheldon hung his head. I'm sorry, he said. Free money makes me cuckoo. Herb nodded. Me too, he said. Especially the paper kind. At my house, I don't even get an allowance. Me neither, said Roger. My parents expect me to live at home for free. Lenny rolled his eyes. Oh, well, I get a whopping quarter for taking out the trash. Seriously, that's it. 1 quarter. He threw his hands in the air. I mean, why even bother? Mr. Scary snapped his fingers. That means knock it off. After that, all of us stayed quiet while Mr. Scary went to the board. He stood there very thinking. Then finally, he picked up the chalk and he added money to our thankful list. After he finished, he took Lucille by the hand and he walked her to the door. Boys and girls, Lucille and I are going to take her money to the office for safekeeping, he said. But while we are gone, I want you all to stay in your seats. And I want you to think very, very hard about what just happened here. He narrowed his eyes at us. I think we all know that Lucille's family is wealthy, and we are all very happy for her. But there are lots of other things to be thankful for besides money, right, Lucille? He said. Right, she said back. She shook her head around in the air. I am also thankful for my shiny, gleaming hair. Then she kept on shaking it until Mr. Scary said, Please stop. He looked at her. Believe it or not, Lucille, there are plenty of people who don't have money or shiny hair, but they are still very happy. Lucille fluffed herself. That's just nuts, she said. Mr. Scary pulled her out the door.